might give you a little bit of extra height on the hip. You're going to draw your belly button in tight towards your spine. Roll the shoulder blades back. Sit up nice and tall. If there's a string on the crown of your head pulling you up to the ceiling. And then when you're ready, take your left hand to the right side of your head. And carefully bring your left ear to your left shoulder. And you'll walk the right fingertips out for an added stretch. So you should feel the stretch on the right side of the neck here. Big inhale through the nose. And exhale out through the nose. Inhale, fill up. Exhale out. One more big inhale. And then as you exhale, gently switch sides. Good, so walking the fingertips out is completely optional. Just adds a little bit of an extra stretch. If it's ever too much for anybody, you always have the option just keep your hand in your lap. Good, 2 more breaths here. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. One more time, inhale. And then exhale, drop your chin to your chest, interlace your fingers behind your head. You're gonna round your upper body all the way forward, start to point your nose to the ground, good. When your next inhale comes, arch the spine, look up, pass toward the computer to the ceiling, cow pose. And exhale, round back forward for cat pose. Inhale, arch the spine, look up, so opening up the chest. And exhale, rounding back forward. Good, take about 2 more. Inhale, fill up. Exhale, round. Last time, inhale, arch the spine, look up. And then exhale, round. Good. You can let that go, sitting up nice and tall. When you're ready, inhale, lift the arms up all the way toward the ceiling, palms be at the top. And exhale, big press away. Good. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Last time, inhale. And then exhale it all the way. You're going to drop the hands down to either side. Reach your left fingertips all the way up and over to the right, taking that side body stretch. Good, so feeling the stretch in the left side of the body, reaching your left fingertips all the way up and over. So the stretch starts down in the left hip, travels up through the rib cage and stops by about the armpit. Good, 1 more inhale, reach a little deeper. Exhale out all the way and then inhale back up. Good, other side, left hand down, right arm up and over. So same idea, you never want to let your right side leave the ground. You always want to try to keep both sit bones down on the ground. And then inhale, come on back up. Good. So if you have a strap nearby, grab your strap. You're going to make your grip pretty wide here. And then take a couple of pass-throughs, so all the way up and back. Good. And watching out for any sort of staircases and walls that might be in your way. So if you're feeling pretty tight this morning, you'll want to make your grip pretty wide. If you're feeling okay and you want a little bit more of a challenge, what you'll want to do is make your grip a little bit shorter. Good. Take about 3 more.
Now I got in.
Good. 1 more. And relax. Good. Now make your grip a little bit shorter, about knees width. You're going to bring your arms up overhead into like a letter Y shape. And then you're going to bend your elbows and make like a goalpost shape with your arms. Good. So you're trying to draw your elbows all the way back. You should feel the chest opening up and the shoulder blades pinching together. So if I were to come around and try to stick a pencil in between your shoulder blades, it shouldn't move because you're super active there. So shaking and trembling might happen. That's okay, but holding your breath is not okay. So take a big inhale, fill up. Exhale out. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more time. Inhale. And then exhale, let that go. Good. So 1 more thing with the straps, quick tricep work. You're going to place the strap in your right hand. And you're going to let it go on the left. You're going to, yep. So you're going to bend the right elbow. Throw the strap behind your back. Reach your left arm around. Grab the strap and then pull the strap down. And if you find you have a little bit of extra slack, just kind of creep your hand up the strap. That should make it a little easier. Good, so you want to try not to lean forward. Lift the crown of the head up toward the ceiling. You want that elbow, shoulder, hip connection there. Very good. 1 more inhale. And then exhale, switch it out. So we want that elbow, shoulder, hip alignment again. Throw the strap behind and then wrap the right arm around. Very good. 2 more breaths. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. And then exhale, let the strap go. Good. So you can toss the strap off to the side and then meet in a tabletop position. So if you have sensitive knees and you've been using a knee cushion, now's a good time to sort of situate it on your mat for the rest of class. In your tabletop position, hands are directly underneath the shoulders, fingers are spread wide, spine is nice and flat, belly button draws in tight, hips above the knees, tuck the toes into the mat. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your hips, look up, cow pose, arch the spine, and then exhale, tuck round, looking toward the wall behind you. Good. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the hips, cow pose, and then exhale, round. Good. So moving through a couple more on your own. This is the exact same stretch we just did seated with that seated cat-cow, but now we're just kind of moving it to the lower back, lower mid-back area. Great overall stretch to do. If there's one yoga pose you have to do per day, this is certainly it. It's great if you're spending a lot of time sitting. Good, let's go for one more. Perfect. And then come back to a neutral tabletop after your last one. Good. You're going to keep your hips as they are, but start to walk your upper body out so that you come into puppy dog pose. So hips stay up nice and high, but your upper body drops into like a child's pose position. So forehead comes to the mat. If your forehead does not comfortably come to the mat, you can drop your forehead to a yoga block if you have one, whatever prop you've been using in place of a yoga block, pillow, anything. I want your forehead to comfortably rest on something. So now if your forearms are on the ground, what I want you to do is press into your fingertips so that you feel your upper body lift. So fingertips press into the ground. Forearms should lift up, arms should lift up, and then eventually you should feel your shoulders lifting up and your spine sinking down. So when we move into downward facing dog in a couple of minutes, I want you to recreate this exact same upper back stretch. You should always feel like your shoulders are lifting and your spine is sinking. So in down dog, when I cue you to push your chest back towards your thighs, this is how you're going to create it. So puppy dog is half of a downward facing dog. One more inhale. Exhale out all the way, and then come on back to your tabletop position. Just a little bit of core work to continue warming up the spine. You're going to reach your right fingertips forward. Your bicep will frame your ear. Good. Keep looking for the top of the mat. So looking for the top of the mat is going to keep the neck nice and neutral. Belly button in toward the spine. Press firmly into the left hand, and then stomp your left leg behind. Good. Squeeze the quad tight. Now lift the left leg up. Little bit of balance work. So evenly distribute your weight between the right leg and the left hand. Take an inhale, get a little longer. Exhale, knee to elbows. This is bird dog. Inhale, reach forward, kick back. Exhale, round. Two more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last time, inhale. And exhale, let that go. Good. Before we move into the other side, keep your left toes kicked back to the edge of the mat. Good. Now you're going to turn the left heel down so that your foot is planted. Yep. Now reach your left fingertips up, modified side plank. Good. So in that modified side plank, you want to try to get your hands and your arms stacked into like a T shape. You're drawing out through the left pinky toe side foot, and you should feel a pretty nice side body stretch. So now you can take that left arm that's up overhead and you can just kind of swing it forward so that your bicep is framing your ear. Good, so keep looking toward the staircase. Perfect. Reaching all the way through your middle fingernail. One more inhale, fill up. And then exhale, let it go back to your tabletop. Let's try the other side. So left fingertips reach forward. Good. Right leg stomps back. And then lift the right leg up. Good. Inhale, reach forward, kick back. Exhale, knee to elbow, round. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last time, inhale. And exhale, round. Good. You're going to send that right leg back. Good. Now spin the right foot down so that the foot is planted down firmly. Your left hand is underneath your head, right? And then you're going to lift your right fingertips all the way up for modified side plank. Good. So the idea is to be really drawing out the side foot. Reaching all the way up through your right middle fingernail, and then swim your right arm overhead so that your bicep is framing your ear. Side plank. Good. So getting that nice side body stretch, you're drawing up through the bottom hip. And side note, if side plank is ever something really challenging for you or it bothers your shoulder, this is a really active place to be. It's a perfect modification. You're still getting full benefit of the side plank. And let that go. Come on back to your tabletop position. From the tabletop, tuck your toes, lift the knees up off the ground, come on into downward facing dog. Good. So first downward dog of the day, taking any movements you need to feel a little bit more comfortable here and be a little forgiving. It's the first downward dog of the day, so might take a couple of them to feel comfortable. You can bend your knees, bicycle out the legs, nod your head yes, shake it no. And then like we spoke about before, push your chest back towards your thighs. Feel the shoulders lift and the spine sink. Good. 2 more breaths here. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. 1 more inhale. Exhale out all the way. Bend the knees. Look forward. Inhale. Walk your feet up to your hands. Good. Hands to shins. Flatten out the back. And then exhale, lower down. Use your inhale to slowly roll up 1 vertebrae at a time. And then exhale at the top. Very good. When you're ready, just taking a couple of sun breaths here. So just take a quick look down at your feet. You want to make sure that your feet are hips width apart. Good way to measure that is to take 2 fists in between your feet. So from here, when you're ready, standing up nice and tall, inhale, lift the arms up overhead, and then exhale, dive forward. Inhale, hands to shins, flatten out the back, and then exhale, lower down. Press firmly through the big toes. Inhale, slowly roll up 1 vertebrae at a time. Good. Coming down again. Inhale, lift the arms up out in front. And then exhale, lower. Inhale, hands to shins, flatten out the back. And then exhale, lower down. This time, grabbing hold of opposite elbows in ragdoll position. So in your ragdoll position, you want your biceps framed by your ears. You're looking for the wall behind you. And if you need that little extra forgiveness in the hamstrings, absolutely bend the knees here. So if you're ever in back pain, this is a great place to be. Take a couple of forward folds. Anytime your chest is towards your thighs, whether it be child's pose, standing forward fold like this, or when we're lying down, knees to chest, anytime your knees and your chest are trying to make contact with each other, you're stretching out your lower back. Your exit is really important here. Wrap your hands around your waist, give it a squeeze. It's always an inhale to come back up. Inhale, rise back up. And exhale at the top. Very good. So moving through our first sun salutation, we're going to just demonstrate a modified version to begin, and then we'll move on to a more traditional one. So standing at the top of the mat, inhale, lift the arms straight up overhead, and then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, hands to shins, flatten out the back. And then exhale, lower down. Plant your hands, step back to a plank pose. From your plank, drop your knees. Your chest is going to shift past the hands. So shift forward, hug the elbows in, lower down to the bottom, modified push-up. Good. Slither through, baby cobra pose. And then roll over the knees, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Good. So second downward facing dog of the day, taking whatever movements you need to feel a little bit better here. Good. Keep the knees bent if you need. And as always, to protect the neck, you are looking at the wall behind you. Ideally, you're looking up towards your belly button, but if that doesn't really feel okay on the neck, look at the wall behind you. That's going to keep your spine nice and neutral. Take 2 more breaths here. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Inhale, fill up. Exhale out. 1 more inhale. Exhale out all the way. Bend the knees. Gaze comes forward. Inhale, walk your feet up to your hands. Hands to shins, flatten out the back. And then exhale, lower down. Inhale, gently roll up 1 vertebrae at a time. And exhale at the top. Good. We're just going to do 1 more vinyasa before we get into it. So a more traditional one, your choice. Inhale, arms up overhead. And then exhale, dive forward. Inhale, hands to shins. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to your plank pose. So from your plank, before lowering down, shift your chest past your hands, hug the elbows in, lower down to the bottom of a push-up, hover for a second, and then come on into facing dog, and roll over the toes, downward facing dog. Good. 5 breaths here in down dog. And as always, if down dog doesn't feel so great, feel free to take child's pose. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. 2 more breaths here. Inhale, fill up. Exhale out. 1 more inhale. Exhale out all the way. Bend the knees, look forward. Inhale, walk your feet up to your hands. Hands to chins, flatten out the back. And then exhale, lower down. Inhale, carefully roll up 1 vertebrae at a time. Very good. All right, so if you have knee issues, definitely have that cushion available. We're going to be working with low lunge. Your left foot is going to stay forward, and you're going to take a big step back with your right leg. So we first want to set it up so that the right leg extends back all the way. Good. So you should be on the ball mount of your back foot. Nope. Just the other way, so twist so you're facing the door. Yep, bend the left knee deeply. Good, now lower down to the right knee. So lower all the way down, low lunge, yep. And then from here, you're gonna lift your arms all the way up overhead. Good, now shift your weight forward so that you feel a stretch on the left side. But I'm not so glad that Avi's knee is in a great position, but it's a great example. Do that again. So if you can see, Avi's left heel is coming off the floor and his knee is tracking way beyond his toes. I love a good learning moment. Tuck your right leg back. Tuck your right toes into the mat. Come on off the right knee. Shimmy all the way back. Now come back down into your low lunge. Very good. Now shift forward. Good. So the reason why Avi's left knee was tracking was because he didn't have enough distance in between both of his legs. His right leg needed to be back a little bit more. So everybody come on up into your low lunge. Inhale, fill up. Exhale, press a little deeper. Good. Inhale. And then exhale, hold. So a little bit of balance work. Tuck your right toes into the back of the mat. Come on off your right knee. Good. Now plant the right foot down. And then bend into the left knee again. Reach the fingertips up. Now we're in warrior 1. So both hips should be tracking forward. Good. You can spin your right toes out a little bit more toward the outer edge of the mat. Yes. Good. Inhale, lift up, hold into your warrior 1. Exhale out all the way, wrap your hands around your waist, give it a squeeze. Take an inhale, step up to the top of the mat. Good, give it a little shake. So we're gonna get ready to switch sides. Avi, I'm just gonna have you switch to the other end of the mat. It's a little easier on the camera. So now your right foot is forward, left foot is gonna take a big step back. Good, so we wanna shimmy the left leg as far back as possible. When you can't get any longer, then drop the left knee down, coming into low lunge. Inhale, fingertips all the way up. And then exhale, push forward, giving yourself that hip stretch. Very good. So remember, if you accidentally have your front leg, that knee tracking over the heel too much, or your heel lifting off the floor, it means your back leg is not extended out enough. Good, 2 more breaths here in the low lunge. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold a little deeper. 1 more inhale. Exhale out all the way. You can wrap your hands around your waist for balance. Now you're gonna come on off the, yep. So back leg lifts up off the ground. You're gonna spin the heel down so the foot is planted, and then lift up into warrior 1. Very good. So in warrior 1, your hips are spinning forward, your back foot is planted. Inhale up, exhale out. 1 more inhale. Exhale out all the way. Wrap your hands around your waist, give it a squeeze, and then inhale, take a big step up to the top of your mat and shake it out. Good. So you can come on back to the front side of your mat. Avi, everybody else can stay. Moving through an optional vinyasa. If you do not want to take a vinyasa, feel free to come into downward dog or child's pose. As you exhale, hands to shins. Meet in your plank. Lower all the way down. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Good. So third down dog, hopefully starting to feel a little bit better. Taking whatever movements you need to. The more challenging the poses become, or the deeper The deeper we go into the poses, the more you should be breathing here. We want to try to train the body to use the breath to relieve any sort of discomforts. Take another inhale, fill up. Exhale out all the way. Bend your knees, look forward. Inhale, walk your feet up to your hands. Hands to shins, flatten out the back. And then exhale, lower down. Inhale, carefully roll up one vertebrae at a time. Good. So everyone's going to take a wide-legged stance. So Avi, you're going to spin to face me, and you're going to come into a wide-legged position. Good. So I want there to be about a leg's distance in between both of your feet. Toes should be sort of facing toward the center of your mat. And this is going to be our stance for a little while. So we're going to work the right side first. So you're going to pivot your right foot forward, and your left foot is going to stay as it is. So pivot the right leg forward. Yep. Nope. Keep this leg straight though. Arms come into like a T position, right? So you're going to pivot the right leg forward. We're moving into triangle pose. You're going to reach your right arm as far forward as you can. When you can't get any longer, drop the right leg down, come on up into triangle. So if you have a block or like a supporting structure, the block is going to come to the pinky toe edge of your foot. If you don't have a block, what you can do is place your hand on your shin. You can place it on your thigh. But ideally, we want this like straight line in between the shoulder and the hip here, and you're reaching your fingertips all the way up overhead, and you should get that nice juicy side body stretch. So try not to collapse into the right side. You want to stay lifted up through the left. Good. 2 more breaths here. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Inhale, fill up. Exhale out all the way. Belly button comes in tight towards the spine. Use your inhale to lift your upper body back up. Good. Now bend the right knee, come into warrior 2. Good. So there's not enough distance in between your feet. There we go. So if you notice that your knee is tracking above, further than your big toe on the right side, it means you need to widen your stance just a little bit. Nice adjustment. So hold here in your warrior 2 for another inhale. Exhale out all the way, and then you're going to inhale, straighten both legs, and come on up into like that 5-pointed star position. Now pivot both of your toes together. Hands stay on the star position. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, you're going to start to fold your upper body forward, and hands come down to the ground. So getting a really big hamstring and inner thigh stretch here. If your hands do not comfortably touch the ground, you can place your blocks underneath your hands or whatever supporting structure you have. So you'll notice the wider you bring your legs, the easier it is to fold a little bit deeper. So trying to find a happy medium here. You're utilizing your big toes for balance. Anytime we come from down to up, the exit is always really important. Wrap your hands around your waist, give it a squeeze, belly button in tight, inhale, roll up to stand. Very good. So hold this wide-legged straddle position. We're just going to adjust the toes. Now pivot the left toes forward. Right foot stays as it is. Good. So we're not quite going to bend the knee. Moving into triangle pose on the left side. So left toes pivot. Arms come out straight. You're going to inhale, reach your left fingertips all the way forward, and then drop the left hand down into triangle pose. So we've got the block or whatever supporting structure you have on the left side. Very good. So being really conscious that you're not collapsing into whatever supporting structure you have. Like if I were to ask you to lift your left hand off of wherever it's resting, nothing should really change about your pose. So give yourselves a little test. You want to rely on your core and your stability to be holding you up here, and not so much that prop. Good. 2 more breaths here in your triangle pose. Inhale, fill up. Exhale out. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out all the way, and then use your inhale to come on back up. So arms lift up, and then we're going to bend the left knee coming into warrior 2. Good. Perfect. So if you notice that knee tracking further than your toes, you want to adjust your stance and the distance in between both your feet. In your warrior 2 position here, our hands are in a T position. So from your warrior 2, you're just going to straighten that left leg out, pivot your toes back into that wide-legged stance just as we started. So now a little bit of shoulder work into this next forward fold. You're going to interlace your fingers behind your lower back. Good. Try to get both of your palms facing each other and then draw your knuckles down to the ground. Open up the chest, take a big inhale. As you exhale, come on down to that forward fold. Good. So at this point, if your hands lift up off of your lower back, that's fine. In a perfect yoga world, the crown of your head is on the ground and your pinkies are reaching the ground, but we live in reality here. So I want you all just to feel a really big stretch happening on the insides of your thighs and of course in the shoulders now. The more intense it gets, the deeper your breaths should become. Take 2 more breaths here. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose. Inhale, fill up, exhale out. Draw the belly button in tight toward the spine and then use your inhale to come on back up into a standing position. Good. So release the hands. You're going to step up to the top of your mat. Moving through one more vinyasa today. You're going to inhale, lift the arms up overhead. And then exhale, lower down. Hands to shins. Inhale, flatten out the back. Exhale, lower. Good. Plant the hands. Step back to plank pose. Moving through whatever variation of vinyasa works well for you. Upward facing dog. And then downward facing dog. Good. This is going to be your final downward facing dog of the day. So just giving yourselves a quick little body scan. See how it felt in comparison to the first one. Push your chest back towards your thighs. So try to simulate that same thing that we were doing with puppy dog pose. Feel the shoulders lift up and the spine sink down. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more inhale. And then exhale, everybody drop down to a child's pose. Bring your knees as wide as the mat, big toes together, heels slightly apart. Try to bring your forehead down to the mat. Good. In your child's pose, walk your fingers toward the right corner of your mat. Feel the stretch in the left side of the body. And then over to the other side. Good. Come on back to the center of your child's pose. Hang out there just for a moment. And then you're going to shift forward into a tabletop. Make your way to a seated position. So in your seated position, your legs are extended out in front of you. What you're going to do, you're going to take your right foot to the inside of your left thigh. So your left leg is the leg that's extended out for now. You're going to reach your arms up overhead, inhale. As you exhale, carefully fold your body over that extended left leg. So if you can touch your toes, that's great. If you can't touch your toes, that's great too. What you should be feeling is a really, really big hamstring and calf stretch. And if you feel nothing, curl your toes back toward your face for an extra surprise. If you have a strap nearby and you want a little extra support, what you could do is lasso your strap around the left leg, hold onto the strap with both hands. Good. Hold here for another inhale. Exhale out all the way. What you're going to do is you're going to move your left forearm into the left side, like on the inside of your left leg, and then reach your right arm all the way up and over, creating like a little arc here. Good.
Yep, that's the spot.
Yep. 2 more breaths here. Hang on. 1 more inhale. Exhale out all the way, and then use your inhale to sit back up. Let's switch sides. Now your right leg is extended. Left foot comes to the inside. Good. Your body's facing toward the right leg. Inhale, lift the arms up, and then exhale, forward fold. Good. So same option applies. If you need the strap, it's there for you. And on the contrary, if you're down here and you can hold on to your foot and you're like, yeah, so what? Grab one of your props. You can place your block out in front of your prop. It would be as if you're going to make your foot grow like 2 sizes. And then you just add a little extra space to grab for it.
Oh.
2 more breaths here. 1 more inhale. Exhale out all the way. You're now going to drop the right forearm on the inside of the right shin, and you're going to reach the left fingertips all the way up and over. Very good.
Oh.
I like all the sound effects today, everybody. 2 more breaths. So reaching all the way through that left middle fingernail. You don't want to have spaghetti arms. You want to have a nice active reach. 1 more inhale. Exhale out all the way, and then use your inhale to sit back up. You're going to extend both of your legs out in front of you and then carefully come to lie down on your back. Good. We're going to take a quick bridge pose before we wrap up. So on your back, you're going to bend your knees, plant your feet on the ground, walk your feet as close to your butt as you can, and before lifting up, shimmy your fingers from side to side. You should be able to graze your heels. Once you can graze your heels, that means that your heels are directly underneath your knees and you're ready to go. When you feel ready, you're going to lift your hips up into bridge pose. Good. So if you want more of a restorative option, grab your prop, place your prop underneath your tailbone. Good. So Avi, if you notice your prop is a little crooked, we want to make sure that the prop is kind of as stable as possible. So in your bridge pose, if you wanted that added upper body stretch, you could reach your arms all the way up overhead. So if you are using a yoga block and you're like Avi right now with the block on its highest height, I don't usually recommend extending your legs because it is a little too intense on the lower back. If your hips are not up as high as Avi's and you want to go for that leg extension, absolutely go for it. We're opening up the chest, clearing out the airway. Our body has this natural tendency to want to rotate inward, and coming in this position forces everything to rotate outward. So it's a really nice overall release. Right, wherever you are, we're here for about 2 more breaths. One more inhale, fill up all the way. Exhale out completely. If you have your arms up overhead, you're going to bring your arms back to either side of your body. Bend your knees, plant your feet. Lift your hips up, remove the block. Lower your hips back down, and then hug your knees in towards your chest. Give yourselves a big squeeze. So like I mentioned earlier, knees are toward your chest again. It's not child's pose. It's not a forward fold, but here you are on your backs, and this is a lower back stretch. So there's 3 different ways you can always get that lower back stretch. Carefully rock side to side. Good. And then when you're ready, dropping your legs out in front of you, extending them out completely, and just lying down on your mat for a moment. Quick Shavasana. Closing your eyes, letting go of your morning, of your week, of your day, whatever's happening. In an hour, you will get to it. I promise it's not an hour-long Shavasana. Give yourselves a quick little body scan. See how you're feeling. And compare it to how you felt in the beginning of class. And on your own, just take about 3 breaths. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. Take 1 more inhale, fill up all the way. Have an extra sip at the top. And exhale out completely. Carefully bringing some tiny movement to your bodies by wiggling your fingers and wiggling your toes. You can reach your arms all the way up overhead and point your toes toward the wall, finding a nice long body stretch. And then when you're ready, hug your knees in towards your chest 1 more time. Give yourselves a big squeeze. Gently rock side to side, massaging out the lower back. And then roll all the way over to one side. Give yourselves a moment to adjust.
Avi's doing it. Look today. Look.
And then when you feel ready, press yourselves back up to a comfortable seated position. And you are all done today, everybody. Thank you.
Danny, thank you. Avi, thank you.
You're welcome. Nice to
Thank
see you
you.
all.
I hope you pay him